Good morning. We'd like to welcome all of you to IPC Works Training. On your panel this morning, this is Teresa Rao with the tech staff at IPC. Also, Chris Jorgensen will be joining us to discuss some of the features of IPC Works, and Jeannie Cooney, a member of the implementation team, and also on our tech staff. What you're seeing on your screen right now is the dashboard that you will see when you first log in. If you have not tried to log in so far, we ask that you try. And if you have any problems, at this point, please email answers@ipc.org with any questions regarding your login. We have about a 5-minute sync from the time you would change your password. Some of you may have had to do that. You change your password and you wait 5 minutes. The sync will occur and then you will be able to log in. We are logged in today as John Doe, and you will see John has his name up here in the upper right-hand corner, along with this box that has his first and last initials. We can change the profile initially on your first login, or you can wait, skip ahead, and change it now. So you could view your profile. And at this point, you can modify it by editing on the drop-down profile tools. We encourage you to change your photo and put a professional photo or some icon that you are favored of. We have this to personalize the screens for you to do this. You can also enter your custom status by just clicking here and typing in, for example, John Doe. I'm sorry. Let's see, click your status. If John Doe is in the office today, and this will accompany John's screen or his information. We then can also change the settings on this screen, and this is an important screen for all of you to understand. IPC Works can notify you, and you have access to it 4 different ways. The web, on a desktop app, your phone, or by email. If you click any of these boxes for everything, that means that every time there is a notification for one of your groups, you will be notified through each of these methods. If you click nothing, you will receive no notifications. Or you can choose a combination where important only is a method where if you are mentioned directly in a notification, it would be pushed through this portal. So for example, if you were notified in a message and it was to you directly, it would come to your phone. You would not receive it by email. And there's also a message here that you can change what's important for you at any time. You can also sign out here, or you can stay logged in. That again is your choice. We are now going to move to the left of the top bar on the screen, and it's this bell with the red box that has new. This is a notification space for you to know if you've been notified. Chris Jorgensen is now following John Doe. It's a new notification. And he also sent a private message to John Doe to welcome him to the group. You can change these settings, of course, by clicking on changing settings, or you can mark all as red. And when I mark all as red, the red notification for new will go off. The stack of books is a quick access for you to go to the areas that you were recently in Again, it's a quick access area. Search box is self-explanatory. And then compose. Compose is in the top middle of this bar for a very important reason. It is the quickest place to go to do any of your activities in IPC Works. You can post an update, you can ask a question, you can post a post, create a message to a group or to an individual, you can create a task, an event, and a calendar. And then there are a few other areas here which we will be covering or mentioning throughout our talk this morning. A couple things that we'll notice here is we'll see that some of these features are also on this left bar. I'll hover over this again, and you'll see that we see things like posts over here we will in shortly, I'm sorry. But we will see messages over here. We'll see polls as we go down through here. Again, several ways to get to different features. As I mentioned, the dashboard is the first place you will come when you log in. The dashboard's been set up for you by the IPC tech staff, but you can change it if you'd like. We encourage you to keep some of these or all of these, as we believe these are places where you might like to come. For example, quick links for things like our website, Edge 2.0, the CFX project page. Teleconferencing information is news that we have posted, and as you know, we've moved to Zoom. A post seeking volunteers was posted yesterday for a new project on polymerics applications, and then information regarding Apex Expo 2020. We also put a spot here for notifications. If you wish to change this, you can show your widgets and you can customize. And as you customize, you can add or take away the widgets that are here through widgets, the things that are here on your dashboard. And you do that by opening the widget gallery, and it shows you all of these things, the features that you can have on your dashboard. And you'd click and add it, and then you can drag and drop it to wherever you want on this screen. You can also drag these features as well as you customize. So once you customize, you can start to move these around for whatever you prefer as your viewing area. You can also restore to the admin default. All right, moving then on down the column, groups are where you will find your committees, the task groups that you are a member of. And Chris Jorgensen will be reviewing these shortly in greater detail. We also have the news feed, and this is information that was posted just today. And here is a piece of news where I posted a comment about just installed IPC Works for Windows, and then you can add reactions or comments to these. This would be a running series of comments on a piece of news. Ballots is a feature that we are still working on. We have the bare bones of it in here, but it is currently being completed by our provider, and ballots will be turned on. I would anticipate within the next month, we will see ballots. We do have a workaround for ballots for your task groups until then, and some of you may be seeing that as we work through the month of March. Messages are messages that were sent directly to you or you sent. You can create a new message here in the new message box. You can also create it in your compose box. You can create a message to a group or to an individual, as I mentioned. If I wanted to create this to the 522, let me send this to Chris Jorgensen. 5 If I wanted to send this to Chris Jorgensen, I would try for more letters so that it searches on his name, click on his name, and I'd be able to send this message to him. I can attach files here. IPC Works does not, we do not have it allowing task group members who are not leaders to attach or post files directly to their task groups. Instead, they would need to attach files here and send them to your leaders, or they would need to send them to the task group staff liaison, or if they want to share a file with an individual personally, they can do it here. Perhaps they have a large file that they need to upload. They could send it through this message box. Files is another way to get to the files for your group. Chris will cover this. Calendar items are calendar items for your personal calendar only. But at the top level, this is calendar items for all of your groups. This is a snapshot of all of your groups. So therefore, if John Doe had calendar items for each of his task groups, he would see each individual task group calendar within this spot, but he would also see an aggregate of it at the top level from this gray-blue bar. The upcoming events surveys are areas we will not be covering in our training this morning. These are more advanced options, and we will be talking to our leaders about these. Ideas are a place for everyone to go. We currently have a campaign that we are running for new standards. If you are interested in responding to this, you can post an idea to this area. And then once again, just like in our newsfeed, individuals can come back and comment on the idea that you have. There are other areas here in the More box, quizzes, much like surveys. Wikis are being used by our A teams to communicate on small projects and action items. And then there is a client apps box. This is a shortcut and provides shortcuts to the apps that I was discussing before. This Mango Apps for Windows is a desktop client. And then also the Mac applications down here for the desktop and the Tiny Take for Mac. There are mobile applications here as well to install on your phone if you're interested. At this point, I'm going to ask Chris Jorgensen to discuss groups. Chris? Chris?
It would help if I unmuted myself. Apologize.
Yes, it would. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. So Teresa, if you could navigate over to the groups selection on the navigation.
Certainly.
And let's select 522A. So within each of your groups, all of the group pages will look the same. So you will see the same navigation no matter which group you go into. When you first come to the group, it'll show you the group leadership and the staff liaison. And then Teresa, if you can click on members. And then the members page will show all of the members for that group. You can scroll through by alphabetical order by first name, or if you go back to the very top of the page, there is a quick find where if you start typing in a name for somebody by first name or last name, just like with the search utility that Teresa showed for messages, it will find the person based on the characters that you put in. So Teresa, let's select your profile. So when you go in, if you find a member within your group, you'd want to click on Profile Info, because the first page it'll show is their activity. But if you click on Profile Info at the very top of the navigation on the left, this will show the profile for the person. So this is why it's important when you go into your profile, there's a lot of information options that you can put in for yourself. You can put in your curriculum vitae, your interests, things like that. On mine, I have a link to my LinkedIn, and also plan on putting in the groups for which I'm a liaison. But in this, you could send Teresa a message directly through IPC Works, or as you see right there where it says unfollow, that means that we've set up John Doe to follow Teresa. So when Teresa, as one of our users, goes in and makes some sort of a post or announcement, she can do that to her followers. So it's kind of like a social media aspect. So if there are certain people within your groups that that you're interested in just seeing what they have as far as opinions or things like that, you would be able to follow them, and then you would get notifications of any specific posts from them. So Teresa, if you can go back to the main task group page where we just were, thanks. Okay, so the next option is feeds. So feeds will show you for any group, any and all activity that has happened within the group that is open for the entire group to see. So as you see, Teresa posted an announcement seeking volunteers. If there is a working draft document or a final draft for industry review that is posted for distribution, you will see things like that here. As a member of the group, as you can see down at the bottom, there's that where that JD is, and there's a write a comment. You can post a comment. You can add a reaction with a smiley face or a frown face or the thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever it may be. And then those become part of the comment stream or the conversation stream for a particular topic. So as these groups mature within IPC Works, you're going to see quite a bit of things here that'll be posted to feeds. Also within feeds, as you see at the top, there is a box where you can share an update within your group. You can share an update which goes into the feeds, or you can ask a question. The functionality is pretty similar, but it's still, these are ways for you to communicate within your group. So Teresa, let's do a test or an example of an update within a group. So Teresa can type a message saying, I have a great new document to post, or look at, here are some slides that I presented that I think would be of interest to this group. You put that in, you click on the attach button. And then you can attach a file. You can either click on the Add Files button at the top to navigate to the folder on your desktop or in a shared network, or you can easily drag and drop files there. Teresa, let's click on Add Files, because I want to show one aspect of this that's important for people. So just select something. We're not going to upload it, but I just want to show them what happens when they attempt to upload a file.
So we're not going to post it?
We're not going to post it.
Okay.
So when you choose to upload a file, you'll see on the right these things that pop up with these boxes for you to enter information. So I definitely recommend putting in a description. If not, what'll show up on the feed will just be the document name. So you can put in, you know, my Apex slides or something like that. Hashtags you can skip, but the one option that is required is the state. So for things like this, you're going to put in general information, but what you'll see for other things that we've posted, like we did before with Kavi, you're going to see meeting agendas and minutes. You're going to see reference documents, proposed standard for ballot, working draft. So it's a way to categorize the documents that go up there. And then once you click on done, you would then choose to share. The share button. We're not going to do that right now because we don't want this going out, but once you would share that, then this would show up in the feed for everybody in your group to see. So again, it's a way for our task group and subcommittee members to share updates and documents within their group. So Teresa, I think we can go to posts next. So posts are going to show you some postings that have been made available either by staff or by your chairs. The task group and subcommittee members are not able to create posts, but these are things that kind of remain static within a group. And then if you click on a post like what Teresa has there for seeking volunteers, you can see a full post that may have gone out typically like we would send through a Kavi email. These things are now saved within the group. And then Teresa, if you scroll down, again, just like with all the other options, you have the ability to post a comment, add a reaction, and things of that nature. And then those still become part of the feeds, but this is another way for people to get or communicate a longer message within a group. All right, files. So files is probably the most important part of this because this is the reason why we created the groups. All these other things are great for the interaction, but the files is where you get your work done. And so what we've done with the files within each group is we've set up navigation so it is consistent across all of the groups, at least at a very high level. So when you go into a group page, you will see a folder for agendas. You will see a folder or folders for the different projects. So if this group had JStandard 001 and let's say it was JStandard 001 handbook, I know that's not the case, but if these two documents were in here, you would see folders for each of those documents. And as Teresa has shown, you can click through on the arrows to navigate down through the revisions. Then you get to the folders that have the ballot, final draft for industry review, or working draft. And then within each of those, you will see the comments. So it's a quick way for you to get through. And then if you click on one of the folders, so let's just go to pick a folder, Teresa, to click on. So then within the folder, you would see all the documents that are there. Now the folder structure or the files is set up for group members to be able to access only. There's no posting up to a group. So if you were to want to submit comments on a document, you would follow the instructions that you would get via the email. And if you look at the top of the comment form that you typically get, it will say submit comments to staff by X deadline. And then staff would compile the comments and then put them back in this folder for the group. And then the group would receive a notification when the documents have been posted. So Teresa, we can look at calendar briefly. You already covered the calendar, but I just want to show one last thing. So as Teresa stated, in the calendar option, this will show you the calendar items that are for your particular group that you're in only. You cannot create calendar items. So if you wanted to call a meeting or request a meeting or some other event for the group, contact your staff liaison or the chair, and then we can get that posted up for you. So on the subject of files, there's one other way for you to navigate to your files. And if you go to the main navigation on the left, you will see the files button there. This is where you'll find all of your group files in one location. So if you click on group files, you will see these are the groups. So right now, John Doe is a member of these different groups. So this is another way for you to navigate through to a document you're looking for. So you can either go to the group and navigate through, or you can start off with the group files. And Teresa, if you click on D72, so you'll see, just like with the other group that we're looking at, 522A, very similar top level navigation. So you see the document number up there, IPC 8921. Tracy, if you click on that, first edition, because that's the first edition for the document. If you go to working draft, you'll see all the working draft documents that are available right now, and this document is currently out for comment. So Teresa, I think that covers everything for the files. But just to remind everybody, the file structure or the files options are set up for task group and subcommittee members to be able to download documents only. If you have a document that you would like to post, I'd recommend doing it through the messaging feed that we showed you within the group, or send a document to your staff liaison or to your chair for posting for the group.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I believe we've covered everything. If there's nothing more to add, Chris, we can open it up for questions. I encourage you to type your questions into the Q&A box, and we will be more than happy to respond. We also have some messages in our chat box. And I have one question: who do I call for password assistance? You, at this point, please email your staff liaison or answers@ipc.org. Give everyone a moment to ask questions.
Question we just received, Teresa, is where is the link for IPC Works?
The link for IPC Works was sent in a message to the task group members yesterday morning. It will also be available from your staff liaisons.
Next question is, do I need to use the app to get to IPC Works?
No, you do not. It is web-based, and you can log in with a web address.
And then who can change my company information in my profile?
Your company information comes from your IPC profile, and your staff liaison is able to change that company information for you. Please reach out to him or her for that.
Do we need to create a new sign-on and password under IPC Works, or are they the same as from IPC Covey?
They are the same as the ones that you had for Covey. If you have any issues or you have forgotten your password, you are welcome to change your password using the Forgot Password link on the IPC Works login page. Once you change your password, please wait 5 minutes before you attempt to log in to IPC Works. It takes 5 minutes for it to sync with IPC's database.
Are staff liaisons the only people who can grant access to IPC Works?
Yes.
Teresa, before we get to our next question, maybe we can show people, there was something that came up yesterday about how to remove themselves from a group that they're no longer interested in being a member of.
Yes. So we can go to the 114 task group, and we will go to members. And in your profile, you will be able to, if you look at these, the members, in their profiles, on your profile, you will be able to ask to be removed from the group. So let me back up and go down here to John Doe. So here's John Doe's message. He can send a new message here to ask to be removed, or he can go over here and click on his profile and request to be removed.
Can you remain logged on for an extended period of time, such as all day?
Yes, you can. Yes, I've tested this a number of times, including overnight last evening, and you can remain logged in.
And can a co-chair add a new member to a group?
No, a co-chair cannot add a new member. That request has to come to your staff liaison because your information is linked from IPC's database.
All right, T, so we have a couple of questions here that are specific technical ones, and we'll respond to those people directly. But I think we've covered all of the questions that we've received so far.
Okay, very good. One last opportunity for our attendees, if you have any additional questions.
Actually, I had one that just came in. I think this would apply to everybody, but it is technical. Will the site get an SSL so the site does not show up as not secure on login?
I believe our IT department is working on that feature. They have created a link through our webpage that we are encouraging people to use as well. And that is the link that we will provide upon request. And the one that we will provide for each staff liaison to send to their groups.
And then will meeting notifications be sent through IPC Works?
That is a staff liaison's choice, although staff is encouraged to send those requests through IPC Works, as they will then be entered on the calendar, and you will be able to see all of your calendar events for task groups in one location.
And for mobile notifications, can you explain that a little bit more? We had a question, is this a text notification or do you have to download the app? How does that work?
It is an app. It is a feature that comes on your phone. You open the app and it is a window that shows you your notifications, your messages, your colleagues, your teams, but you will not receive the notification unless the app is open. Anything else, Chris?
Let's see. Is there a way for the co-chair to receive a copy of a notification? At present, I do not go to feeds I need to go to feeds to see posts that I have made.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Sure. Is there a way for a co-chair, and I would imagine this would extend to anybody, to receive a copy of a notification? At present, I need to go to feeds to see posts.
The post
that person has made.
Yes, no, there is no way. It is unlike Covey in that you will not receive, if you send an email or a post to a task group, you will not receive that back. In IPC Works, your posts are immediate. There is no lag time. In Covey, for those of you that did make posts, it was often as much as 15 minutes until your post was sent to the entire group. That is not IPC Works. IPC Works is an immediate web-based post, and you will need to go to your feed to see that post that you have made.
Is there a way to set up a calendar item that is for specific people only and not for an entire group?
Yes, there is. So Chris, let's create a calendar item for John Doe. And let's create it here. And I have to create it going forward, don't I?
Well, remember, John Doe.
He can't create it. That's right. I'm sorry. Yes.
Within your yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Yes. Yes, there is a way to create it for specific people. And you will have to ask your staff liaison to, or your leader to do that.
Okay, I don't see any other questions that have come in, Teresa, but one question that's been repeated a few times is about getting the link to IPC Works. So are we going to take an action to resend that link either to this group today or back out to all of our committee members again?
We can send it to all of our committee members again. Yes, we will take that action to get that out shortly.
And so there is a quick link that you can use, or a shortcut, and that is www.ipc.org/IPCWorks. That will also get you right through to the IPC Works login. And I have not received any additional questions, Teresa.
All right. Then I believe we are going to conclude and adjourn this. Thank you very much for attending. And if you have any further questions, again, please email answers@ipc.org. And I wish everyone a great day. Take care. We look forward to seeing you at our task group meetings and on IPC Works.